Dad, about 98% of the people you associate yourself with in a day voted for Trump. Why do you disagree? Why don't you just vote for Trump?
Well, I don't necessarily disagree. I do disagree. The premise, the reason most people want to vote for Trump that I associate with is because I identify more with the right than I certainly would with the left. But that's mainly because I'm a proponent of private property, and the left has no respect for that at all. These days, I wonder if the right does as well. The right certainly has no respect for human property, which is owning yourself. But they still seem to have a modicum of respect for private property. But to answer the question, the reason that so many people support Trump is all based on things that aren't factual. I mean, your average guy will say, well, he's so much better for the economy and this and that. And how do you figure? How do you figure that at all? Donald Trump was terrible for the economy. The sanctions that he imposed, which, by the way, the Biden administration just left those in place, those sanctions were one of the most detrimental things that ever happened to the U.S. economy in all of history. If you don't understand how sanctions work, if this guy here is in the United States and this guy is in China and the Chinese guy wants $5 for his product and he tries to sell it to the U.S. for $5, the U.S. government gets in the middle and takes $3. So the American had to pay $8 for it. How did that hurt the Chinese guy? It doesn't. It doesn't hurt him at all. It's just a giant tax on the American people. So the price for goods for Americans went through the frickin' roof. Instead of being able to buy a tire for $250, now you're paying $380, and all that money is going to the government. It's not doing anything to harm China. It's not doing anything to benefit Americans. In fact, it's very detrimental. And your hero, Donald Trump, is also the same guy to give away billions and trillions of dollars during COVID. And he was the one that instituted the lockdowns in the beginning and all that. I mean, how can you guys forget that crap? How can you guys forget that he was giving out PPP loans to everybody on planet Earth and sending individuals, everybody in America got money? I mean, how much more socialist can you get? How much closer to communism do you guys want to get before you decide that he's not a Republican? He's not a fiscal conservative. He's none of those things. And he's representing the right. So you have a guy that instituted the most socialist programs the United States has ever seen, and the right is holding him up as their candidate? I don't got it. I don't get it. It just makes no sense. So, is that endorsing Kamala? Certainly not. Kamala Harris, in my opinion, is another Biden, and that's why the state wants her, is because, Biden was just the figurehead, and behind the scenes you had guys doing whatever they want to do, and they have a four-man that they can blame everything on. Kamala's the same damn thing. Kamala's not going to be a president that makes any decisions, in my opinion, but she's great for the state because they can all run around and wield the power of the president and have somebody else take the blame for everything, which would be her. And I think that's why they hate Donald Trump so much, is because Donald Trump wants to be president. He wants to do his own thing, and he wants to, he wants that power. He wants to be in charge. That doesn't make him a good president. That doesn't make him a good person. Just because he doesn't want to get pushed around by the people with lesser power than him doesn't magically make his policies better. And one of the biggest things that people fall back on is, Biden ruined the economy. How? How did Biden ruin the economy? Do you know that we just doubled the amount of oil we were pumping in 2014? We just doubled the amount. We hit like 11 million barrels. Everybody likes, I see those stupid stickers on the gas pump of Biden saying, I did this. How do you figure when we have tripled the amount of oil that we're producing? You guys, it's like you're totally oblivious to the fact that OPEC is the one that sets the oil prices by deciding whether they're going to cut back or they're going to drill more or whatever they're going to do. Biden certainly had nothing to do with that. If they weren't letting more leases out than ever before, we wouldn't be hitting record numbers of oil produced. It's all just ignorance of what really goes on. Donald Trump ran the deficit up more than any president ever before him. Obama was crazy with it, and Trump outdid Obama in 4 years. okay, people, you know, go vote for Trump. It's whatever.